Here's our typical bench setup for bands. Okay, this is the band is doubled, not choked. Okay, so if I come over here, pull this off, you look down. One end of the band goes around the bar, the other end is down under the bottom of the rack, and then we take the other end of the band up around the bar like that. So it's doubled. Okay. Usually, anybody benching over 315, this is a mini band. Okay, your red band at Elite, we'll typically use that. The way you don't set the band up is to have it choked. It's not set up like your squat bands. So you see there, it's choked, where you loop it through, and then the other end goes up around the bar. Do not do that. You're really not doing anything. Okay, and when the lifter brings the bar down to their chest, the band's going to come right off. Okay, so you're not doing a whole lot. One thing you can do, and if you have some more advanced lifters, if you want to do the choke setup that we just showed, and then add this on top so you get a little extra band to kick in at lockout, that's something you can do for some variation. But in general, don't choke your bench bands. You're doubling them like we had them before. Okay, and then for us, for some of our weaker lifters, we have the Ultra Minis. Again, set up the same. So a lot of people that bench under 300 will set them up with these. It's about half the tension of the mini band that I just showed you before, but it's still set up the same way. Okay, and it seems to work pretty well. Once they have basically mastered their bench form or bench pretty well, we'll start throwing the bands in. I'm a big believer in learning to accelerate through the full range of motion and all the benefits that the bands have. We can put those on for early lifters. As far as lining the band up, again, we have the Elite Collegiate 3x3 racks. We usually go between hole, look down here, hole 2 and 3 along the bottom of the rack, right there between 2 and 3. And what that does, when you teach your kids to set up right, that will put the pull of the band right in line with their bench path. Okay, so we don't want the band way back here, but their bench path is up over here, because then the band's going to pull their hands and put their shoulders in a bad position to bench. So we want to bench in a straight path. We should have our bands lined up in a straight path. So pay attention to that when you're setting your bands up. Okay, don't have the bands too far towards their feet or too far towards their head. Should be right in their bench path. Okay, right over their upper stomach.